The entertainment world was rocked on Tuesday, August 2nd, when it was revealed that the upcoming Batgirl movie, which was nearly complete and had already been going through test screenings, was being shelved by Warner Bros. Discovery. Not dumped to HBO Max, not being sold to another company, scrapped entirely, and left to languish in the vaults of the studio, presumably forever. The studio is also not releasing a sequel to Scoob, despite it also being nearly finished. And these are not small movies. They came with $90 million and $40 million budgets respectively. A studio straight up not releasing movies that expensive is flat out unprecedented in Hollywood history, and as a result, has sent shockwaves through the industry. So the big yet simple question lingers, why? Warner Bros. Discovery did release a statement on the matter, but one that only provides some hints as to the answer to that question. The decision to not release Batgirl reflects our leadership's strategic shift as it relates to the DC Universe and HBO Max. Leslie Grace is an incredibly talented actor, and this decision is not a reflection of her performance. We are incredibly grateful to the filmmakers of Batgirl and Scoob Holiday Hunt and their respective casts, and we hope to collaborate with everyone again in the near future. Warner Bros. Discovery and its CEO, David Zaslav, are unlikely to reveal any more information than what's currently available, but that doesn't mean we can't make some guesses as to what happened.
I told you I can only show you the door. You have to walk through it.
Before diving into the business of it all in a dollars and cents sort of way, the big thing here is how bad this all looks for Warner Bros. Leslie Grace of In the Heights fame plays the lead in Batgirl, a film directed by Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, who helmed Bad Boys for Life. So the studio just effectively scrapped a finished superhero movie with a Dominican-American lead actress directed by a Muslim filmmaking duo. Not a great look when the same studio gave Zack Snyder $100 million to finish his version of Justice League, which was released directly to HBO Max. The difference there seems to be a change in regimes. That was the old guard's decision, and it's extremely hard to imagine a guy like Zaslav letting that fly. Be that as it may, the look is still a bad one, and beyond that, every single person who worked in that film has been burned. All of that work will never be seen. The directing duo surely had other offers and chose Batgirl, which seems like it's something that could haunt them in the future. Grace, an up-and-coming actress, had the chance to lead a big superhero film franchise. That chance is gone now. The relationships with these people are surely damaged in a major way. We also can't forget that Brendan Fraser, who was having a nice little comeback, was playing the villain in the movie, and Michael Keaton was returning as Batman, which is a huge deal regardless of any other upcoming appearances he might make, all left to languish in a vault now. The merger between Warner Media and Discovery was a costly one, with the new media conglomerate taking on heavy debt to make the deal happen. As a result, Zaslav has been committed to finding cost-saving measures wherever he can to trim billions from the budget. That's what all of this seems to hinge on. More specifically, Zaslav and company have made a limited and unique business opportunity to cut their losses using a tax loophole. Per a report from Deadline after the news broke, the decision to scrap Batgirl and Scoob came down to what was described as a purchase accounting maneuver. The company changed hands recently and dramatically shifted strategy. As such, they are apparently able to scrap these films without having to carry the losses on its books. It is also noted that this option expires in mid-August, which is why they are exercising the option now. Is creative accounting that could save the company millions on a balance sheet worth the damage this does in terms of optics?
And for what? For a little bit of money.
That seems to be the question on everyone's lips. Much of this boils down to an industry-wide debate that Warner Bros. Discovery and, as a result, HBO Max are taking a hardline stance on. In the era of streaming dominance, the question of theatrical versus streaming has been prevalent, particularly in a year in which the global box office is rebounding very well with hits like Top Gun Maverick, Jurassic World Dominion, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and many others. In the case of Zaslav, he flat out rejects what the previous regime did with Project Popcorn, where all of the Warner Bros. 2021 movies were released on HBO Max the same day they hit theaters, in an attempt to boost subscribers. The new regime feels that streaming exclusive movies don't often result in enough return on investment to justify the cost. Meanwhile, movies like The Batman can have a huge run at the box office, do well on VOD, then perform extremely well on HBO Max after the fact because the movie has become in demand. Batgirl was greenlit at $70 million, and its budget ballooned to $90 million because of the pandemic. It wasn't made with theatrical in mind, and undoubtedly, a lot of that money went to pay actors big salaries up front. So what we were likely left with was a smaller-scale superhero movie. Trying to increase the visual effects and shift it to a theatrical release would be extremely costly, not to mention risky if the studio doesn't fully believe in the movie itself. Another thing to consider is the broader strategies at play here with the biggest brands under the company umbrella. DC is right at the top of that list, and it has been reported many times that Zaslav sees DC as a top priority. The executive seems to believe that the brand has not been maximized and is looking for someone to head up the company, much like what Marvel has in Kevin Feige. Changes are coming in that department, and if Batgirl didn't fit in with the broader strategy, the new regime may have felt it was worth protecting the future of the brand as they see it.
Failure is not an option.
Is a $90 million loss an extreme example of implementing this sort of strategy? Absolutely. At the same time, it's not without precedent in the blockbuster space. Take, for example, the scrapped Game of Thrones prequel pilot that starred Naomi Watts. HBO is said to have spent $30 million on that single episode of TV, only to scrap it and move on to House of the Dragon. It's not in the same ballpark financially, but the broader point of HBO feeling it was better for the franchise to do something different remains. There is value in not hurting the brand. Still, the only reason Zaslav would do something this massive is if he has something dramatic in mind for the future. The only logical conclusion as it specifically relates to the DC universe is that a reset is coming. The Flash is navigating gigantic problems with Ezra Miller. The Snyderverse is dead despite the ugliness that continues to surround it, and the brand is currently splintered between several different universes. So what will the future look like? We'll just have to wait and see.